The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Well, folks, today I believe is the first day of summer. I'm not sure. 21st of July. Wow. Okay, let's take a look anyway at the DAX index as we see here. As you can see, we're in a downtrend in the DAX, at least from a short-term perspective. Long-term, I'm sure it's still bullish, but on a short-term perspective, it certainly is, moving lower. Yeah, June 21st, you're right, it's June. That's, that ought to be something to do with the summer solstice, right, Gator? Sorry, folks. Anyway, we will keep an eye on this DAX index because it is working lower. We've got some price objectives down about 300 points, down around the 12,100 area, so watch it kind of closely. We've got a lot of things happening today, folks. The Treasury notes are making a 61% retracement of this whole move down. We've been waiting for this. It's at 126.09 and a half so far today. The high has been 126.09. So, and the bonds got up to that 1.618 expansion at 154.24. If bonds get above 155, this would be a total 50% retracement of this whole move down in the bonds. So we've got a lot of this Astro stuff coming in, as we heard from our good friend Norm Winsky yesterday, and believe me, there's really quite a bit of it. If you haven't checked it out, go to his website or request some information from him, and he'll show you all of the things that are occurring that are going to be really interesting. In addition to that, of course, we do have a new moon coming in on the 24th of which will be Monday, 24th of June. So we'll keep July. Let's try that again. And believe it or not, folks, I only woke up about 10 minutes ago. I was up during the night watching some of these markets jump around because we've had some fabulous moves in crude oil, in the Japanese yen, and even the euro. We've had some really big moves. The dollar index has broken below the 78% level by a great deal. That tells us that there's not any bottom down here right now, but we went crashing through that 94.50 level. So this means the euro is going to go higher. We've already broken above the 116 level without too much trouble. The old high from last year is 117 and change in the euro, and we could certainly knock that out without any trouble at all. That would be something that would be really interesting to take a look at. So we'll watch this as we go through here, but the dollar index is certainly breaking. What's interesting about that, with the dollar breaking, we've had a really nice move into gold. Now, if you remember yesterday when we were talking about the gold market, let's just get this up here so we can take a look at it. We were waiting for the ABCD. We're waiting for an ABCD to form, and we hit it exactly at 1233. The actual low, 1233.90. The low was 1234.10. And now we've broken quite a bit above the 78% level. We've got above 1251 and change. That tells us that this thing has legs, folks. The big key to this, I believe, was when silver hit its long-term ABCD projection at 15.12 per ounce. And this is what's happening. What you want to do now is you want to watch for another correction here to try to get long this thing. Now, if you look at the move between the 12th and the 14th, you'll notice that it was almost identical to what we had yesterday. And that's what you want to watch, is watch that symmetry that you try to see. And when you see the ABCD structure, that gives you, further confirmation that the pattern is working. So we're going higher in this gold market. That's gold and silver look like that's higher to me. The one that looks interesting from the short side, of course, is the Treasury bond market. That's the one that looks really interesting to me. It's got some very, very interesting things to look at it, as we can see. Let's just take a quick look. I don't do these ETFs very often, but I've had 2 requests last night to take a look at the TBT, which is the ETF for the 30-year Treasury bond on the short side, of course. TLT is on the long side of the note. But if you'll notice here, we're pulling back. We've had a really nice ABCD 3-drive pattern forming at the 61% retracement. We rallied up, and now we've backed off one more time. This lines up perfectly with what we're seeing in the Treasury note market, and that is the one that, determines all of our mortgages and interest rates and all the other things that we're watching. So you want to be able to, really look at this really closely, folks, because this is a really interesting pattern on a market that trades, very, very heavily. Treasury notes are our largest commodity by far. I mean, like 6 times larger than anything else. And it's 5.5 times larger than the bonds, and those are, bigger than the S&P. So just watch this very, very closely. Unfortunately, I've had a request to take a look at Bitcoin, and I will, because I try to honor all the requests here. If you'll give me 1 second here. All I'm going to do here on this Bitcoin chart is to point out that it's following technical patterns. That's all I'm saying. The other day, we were talking about this. We made a big ABCD down there at 1800, and that was a perfect ABCD. All you got to do is do the work yourself. Like Jim Twentyman says, defy human nature and do the work yourself. And look what's happened. We've had a straight up move, almost making new highs. When the market does that, folks, it's probably going to make another new high. That would be my guess. That's a perfect ABCD move, and whether it's going to make a new high or not, we'll have to wait and see. But when a market explodes, well, we saw this in the NASDAQ, didn't we? That's for sure. But anyway, that's the Bitcoin chart. Neither here nor there. I have no further comments about the Bitcoin chart, not at all. Anyway, there's too many other things going on. The other one that is really interesting as far as ABCD that we mentioned before, and that is the NASDAQ. We just made the big ABCD up there at that 59.22 was the number. We got to 59.38, I believe, or 59.40. We're now trading around 59.10. So we've been up like 11 days in a row, so we're due for a correction. Whether this is a big correction or not, based on these cycles, we'll have to wait and see if that's going to be the case. Now, I did want to spend a little bit more time with this chart that was sent to me by my good friend Larry Williams. He's up fishing in Bozeman, Montana right now, Kalispell, Montana right now, doing fly fishing. But we'll talk about this chart, which is equities versus commodities. 877-927-6648.
TFNN is excited to offer a brand new piece of market scanning software unlike anything the industry has ever seen. John Logan and his team have spent years developing their market profile tools to finally be able to release the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. And right now you can get a 2-week trial absolutely free just by visiting TFNN.com and providing us your name and email address. The TAS Profile Scanner Plus is the premier market profile based scanner in the industry, powered by the acclaimed TAS proprietary algorithms, this feature-rich scanner is a standalone desktop software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Within 3 minutes of signing up, you can have the software downloaded and running on your computer with a complete roadmap of market indicators and inflection points to trade off using the TAS Profile Scanner Plus. Sign up today and try this amazing piece of software by visiting TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about the Tiger's Den, but wondered, what exactly is it? The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of your favorite TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live during those shows, and have access to all those charts. You can test drive the Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days. It will greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets. Details on the Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
David White has just announced a new online course that he'll be premiering to his subscribers the evening of July 26th, The Next Wild Wild West of Computing. Machine learning will be the biggest growth area for tech companies in the next 10 years. Make sure you're ready to capitalize on that opportunity. With over 50 types of algorithms and growing, Dave White will tell you why there are so many areas for companies to apply this to their business to both sell and consume. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to either of Dave's newsletters, Path of Least Resistance and The Technology Insider, as well as get a 30-day money-back guarantee when ordering Timing the Trade charts. Don't miss out on the next Wild Wild West of computing as it premieres July 26th for all subscribers to Dave White services. For all the details and to sign up today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks, and I've had a question about my relationship with Larry Williams. I met Larry in 1965 when I first started trading down at holy cow. Roy Longstreet's place I'll think of it in just a minute. It starts with a C. Oh dear. Boy, this is terrible. One or two more like this, folks, and it's heading off to the end of days nursing home. Anyway, we were trading at, no, it was not Conti. It was across the street at, it's the name of the city in Dr. What's a city in St. Louis right outside of, oh, come on, Larry, give me a break. Oh, this is silly. I should remember this. Anyway, that's where I first met him. He was doing a, no, it's the end of days nursing home. That's my kids always joke about it because they sell such really good, they have such really great tapioca. Okay, anyway, that's where I first met Larry. He was running a commodity service called Commodity Timing, and it was out of oh boy, right outside of San Francisco. My goodness, why am I missing so many days today? This is really yes, I have my reservation. It hasn't moved. Anyway, that's where I met Larry, and he was Monterey. He was Clayton Commodity. Thank you very much, Doc. And he was Clayton Commodities. That's where I first met him, and he was working with Michelle Noseworthy, and they had a really neat service there. And it turned out, well, he's just done a lot of great things. When I was at Drexel, I had a really good deal as far as education. They took a percentage of the commissions that I had made and applied it to anything that I wanted to learn or to buy or anything like that. We bought a computer back in 1978. 20 and I. It was a very expensive computer. And it was basically off the commissions that we had made. Remember, we were charging a $50 commission, folks. You guys are paying $4 or $5, and back in those old days, it was $50. And so it was pretty easy, but the market, it was totally different. Yeah, $2 now. That's right. Anyway, that's how I met him, and he lives down in St. Croix in the Virgin Islands now, and we see each other every couple of years. We speak in Hong Kong about a month apart every year. I speak, and then he comes in and corrects everything I said over the next month. But he's a super nice guy. He's run a lot of marathons. He's really smart. He ran for senator in 1980 and didn't get elected. But he's just a really nice guy, and he's just as honest as anybody you want to. He's humble too. He's just a super guy. Anybody that knows him knows that he's a super nice guy. He's always above board and everything. And I just have the greatest respect in the world for the guy, and he's done so much with the stuff that he's brought us. His average true mean is probably the greatest thing that he ever brought to the market. The average true range, but a lot of other things, the Williams indicator and just so many other things that he's had. Anyway, let's get back to this chart. This actually came from someone else, but he forwarded on to me. You're right, honest and humble. How could that ever be a politician? Actually, he was one of the few senators that didn't get elected because of the Reagan Blitz. That's when 1980. And that's when he didn't get. And the reason, well, let's forget this. Look at this chart, folks. What this is telling you is just look at these peaks. You see the oil crisis, 1973. That's when we waited in line for gas. If you remember the Gulf crisis, that was the Gulf War when oil hit $42 a barrel. And from there, folks, you'll notice that it went down into 1999 to bottom at $11 a barrel. And then this is when we had the too big to fail stuff in 2007, 2008. And you can see, where we are right now. And of course, look at the ABCD structures. You can see the head and shoulders pattern on this. It's just absolutely perfect. And then you can see the ABCD structure. So something big is probably getting ready to happen. Whether it's going to be in our lifetime or not, I don't know. But the one chart that's got my interest more than any other is this long-term VIX index on the reverse side, the XIV, because this is the reverse of the VIX. As you can see, this is a 3-drive pattern on a long-term basis. This is going back a very, very long time, folks. So you want to pay attention to it because it's got a really good chance of making something really important happening. When you stop to think that the VIX is still near the lows. We haven't taken the lows out of last week, but the fact that the Dow Jones has been up for 9 weeks in a row, and that VIX isn't trading at 6 or 5 or 4, isn't really something. So, be able to see what's going on. Okay. You're right, Mark. That is not your real name, but you're still a stand-up guy, in my opinion. Thanks for the clarification on that. Okay, I imagine there are a lot of people with handles in there too. Well, look at Mr. Z; he's in there with a handle, and other people have different handles. So, I would think being anonymity is always a good thing in these things. That's what I would be interested about. Let's take a quick look about crude oil, folks. Crude oil had a really interesting pattern here because, hold on one second, we got to get this done here. Let's just move this up and so we can get this moving here. Okay. I know that private thing is a little tough. Okay, look at this. This is the heating oil. Let's try it again. This is the gasoline. As you can see, the gasoline, this is from 3 days ago. We went up and we hit that exact 61% retracement at 1.625. That was it. That's when crude oil topped out at 47.57. the first target on crude oil was 47.72, 17 cents away. And I had several people ask me, why didn't it make the target? Boys and girls, you're going to find this is a really big surprise, but I don't know. All I know is that the heating oil and also the gasoline made both of those patterns just absolutely perfectly. Now, it was the other ones that didn't work out, but when I'm seeing that, it's just telling me that the overall product itself, which is crude oil, is not making the target objectives, but the two, byproducts, gasoline and heating oil, are. So that's the real reason why I think it's important to follow the complex. If you're going to trade crude oil, you really need to do that. Let me just show you the crude oil. You'll see that it stopped. Oh, Larry, hold on just a second. Okay, hold on here. You'll see that the 78% retracement of the May high came in exactly at the price, which was within about 20 cents of the ABCD. And as we always say here, the ratios come first and the patterns come second. And that's because mathematics trumps geometry, as Pythagoras said, but we'll have to, and I don't know if that's Trump is a Freudian slip or not, but we'll see what's going on. We'll take a little break here, 877-927-6648. We'll have... Wow.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's NADEX.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, we're going to take a look here at this crude oil contract. You can see here that we missed that ABCD pattern by about 17 pips, and I'm not sure what's going on. By the way, on that trade, Mark P that you were talking about at 175, it should have 2 zeros on it, 17500, my friend. Anyway, you can see here that we just completed a very small ABCD pattern here in the crude oil. It came in at 46.50. It really needs to hold 46.50, folks, but frankly, I think the bias is to the downside here. The reason for that is that we've made the targets in both heating oil and in gasoline. So my assumption is that we're getting ready, to head lower in this. So we'll watch it. Someone's asked the question about what are my upside targets in silver and gold. All I know is they're higher. I'll do that work over the weekend, but that bottom that we made in silver at 1512, that is a major bottom, folks. That was a large ABCD pattern going back a long time, and the gold didn't quite make the number we wanted. We wanted to get to 1195. We only got to 1203. We've already rallied $50, an ounce just this week, folks. That tells you this puppy wants to go higher. That's basically, what you're looking at. So it's going to be interesting here. There's no question about it. I think the big surprise is going to come in the VIX index, and also in Treasury bonds, and also in the stock market. That's my 2 cents worth. I have to share with you something from my past, folks. This was sent to me by a good friend last night about things that had happened in 1955, and I wanted to show you this because this could have been exactly across the street from our high school in Terre Haute, Indiana. If you notice 15 cents, that was the cost of French fries, a hamburger, and a milkshake. They didn't even sell Coca-Cola. It was a milkshake, I think it was 2 years later they started selling soft drinks because they had they didn't have the machine drinks back then. All they had was bottles. But anyway, you notice 15 cents. For 45 cents, you got a milkshake, a hamburger, and French fries. I think that runs about $6.50 or $7 right now, unless you're in Switzerland, where it's almost $20 for that meal, and in Hong Kong it's around $12. So you can see here a franchise from McDonald's back in 1955 when they first started bringing them out was $5,000. The franchise in Terre Haute, Indiana was bought by Dr. McIntosh, and it was really an interesting, because he was the man who was sponsored me for medical school, and anyway, we'll see what's going on. Mr. Bill, I believe that's a 55 Ford. I'm not sure, but I think that red and white Ford in there is a 55. I looked at it again, but I could be wrong because I'm wrong a lot. But I thought that was a 55 Ford. The 56 had a little bit different rear end, but I'm not absolutely sure. So we'll see, folks. This stock market, is ready to go lower. I don't want to, talk about it too much because it's too damn much pressure on me. Ooh, I said the nasty word. Anyway, the reason why I say it is that NASDAQ has made that major thing. We've completed everything up in here. Even look at the IWM, folks. Just take a quick look at this IWM. We just completed the big ABCD and the IWM, just like we did with the NASDAQ. They both completed. The Dow's already completed. It didn't even make new highs on this last run. The NASDAQ has been the big daddy rabbit in this thing, and when that thing goes, it's going to be the biggest, going to be seeing what's right. That's right. Yeah, those were the old days, folks. Does anybody want to guess what a price of a postage stamp was in 1955? You want to take a guess? It was 7 cents. And do you know what the minimum wage was back in those days, folks? It was just raised to $1, and it stayed that way for a long time. Anyway, this this is part of our country that was a little different nowadays. But anyway, we'll see what's going on here. All right, let's just move on to a couple other things that we need to chat about. Let's just get on to those notes and bonds, because I believe this is the one that is getting ready to head to the downside. We just want to put this up from the other day that we were talking about it, because we were waiting for this to happen. We got up to this level here, the 61% retracement in the notes. We hit that 126.09, I believe, is the exact number, and 09.5, and we hit 126.09 so far. We might have it. My alert hasn't beeped yet, so we're watching it. But I'm looking at this now. The bonds, they have a little greater volatility because of the fact that they're dealing with something that is a lot more volatile, and I don't know why it is, but it has about 4 times the volatility of the Treasury notes, and yet it only has 1/6 of the open interest and volume. So that's a strange thing to be looking at right now. But this level that we're at right now in these Treasury notes is a perfect 61% retracement in a bear market, and boy, those are the ones that you really would like, to watch. Another question just came up about that gold. Let me quickly look at this gold chart, folks, just to see where we are. We'll just go to a daily chart here, and we'll see. Wow, we're almost at the 61% retracement back from the last high. Comes in, the 50% is right here. The 61 comes in at 1264. I think that's going to be, I think we're going to make that easy, but would like to see a little bit of a pullback so we can measure it better, because let's just send this into the room here so that you can take a quick look at it, because this is bullish, folks. That's just flat out, and it's just you don't want to fade this puppy on the short side just yet, because it's going to be really interesting to see what's going back. Yeah, there might never be a pullback again. Yeah, right. Well, we know that's a lot different, Mark. So we'll see. We'll see what's going on here with this. Now let's see. All I have to do now is to try to find out where I put that gold chart, and then we'll take a quick look at it. Hopefully, and the key word there is hopefully. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, shucks. I know I just posted it, but where did it go? Oh, doggone it. Well, I'm not going to worry about it right now. Well, we'll find it eventually, I guess. Maybe this is it. Nope. Okay. Oh, boy, that's really frustrating when I get it ready and then it just doesn't pop up like I wanted it to. All right, I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, let's just take a quick look. Someone's asked a question about the Australian dollar. We had that major pattern up here. What I'm watching here is, if you'll notice, this is one second. This is one of the reasons why we like foreign exchange so well, is you'll notice the last 2 days we had this $1,000 move in the Australian dollar. When it made its high up there at 79.90, it came down to 78.90, rallied up exactly to the 78% retracement level, and then made a perfect ABCD structure to the downside. And so, these are the ones that, and we see this, we're following, the 6 major cross rates and the other 3 crosses, and that makes it, pretty interesting to look at. So I'm going to find that gold chart for you, folks, and post it, and we'll be right back after these few words.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you like it does me, visit everbank.com/TFNN to find out what they can do for you. Again, that's everbank.com/TFNN. Visit them today.
Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Will the S&P 500 continue to climb? For bold trades on U.S. large cap stocks in either direction, trade SPXL, SPUU, or SPXS. Directions Daily S&P 500 Bull and Bear Leveraged ETFs. Direction leveraged ETFs. An investor should carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risks, charges, and expenses before investing. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a fund's prospectus and summary prospectus, call 866-476-7523 or visit directioninvestments.com. A fund's prospectus and summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, folks, I've posted this gold chart. As you can see, the 61% retracement comes in at 1263. That's a good $12 from where we are right now. But this thing has legs, folks. We made the 61% retracement. No, that's not true. We did not. It's got this marked wrong because it's showing 61% retracement, but it is actually should have come in at 1195. That's a mistake of the software program because it goes out to the thousandth decimal point, which is silly because if you get the first decimal point, that's pretty good. Anyway, this looks like we're going to make at least 1263, but that doesn't mean you can't get in it. Just start looking for the ABCD structure on this half-hour chart, much like we had yesterday. That'll give you a pretty good chance, to get in. By the way, when we were just taking this last break, we hit the exact 61% retracement in the Treasury notes. And so to me, that would be something to really pay close attention to. Now, folks, my guess is this is all related somehow to what's going on in the euro and the U.S. dollar. It'll come more clear in the next week or two, but I think it's going to be something that is going to be really dramatic, that's going on. One other one that looks really interesting, let's just look at this U.S. dollar index just to show you how bad it is broken here. And you'll see that it is come down quite a bit. Oh, by the way, someone asked me a question, what happened? I put more orders today in for the 24/7 service than I have in several months. So it's going to be really interesting to see what's going to happen. Yes, the VIX is still under $10. I think that's equivalent to buying real estate in Beverly Hills in 1955, in my opinion. So watch it closely here. That VIX index really is, we're going to be able to see. Yes, I know Mr. Simpson was paroled, and he's going to be living in Florida. I don't know the exact city, but believe me, he is going to be in the news a lot. They're going to be doing specials on him again. And the whole thing, he just has, anything he does, it just has mystique around him. So we won't get into the politics of this, but we'll see. But, he made so many careers during that trial. I mean, my gosh, You stop. Well, let's just forget this. Let's move on to these other things because this euro, let's just look at it because here's the possibility. You can see what happened here. And this was something that we had talked about was the fact that we made that big pattern down there at the 103 level. And this was a possibility that could have been a 16-year low. We did this chart with the cycles about 2 weeks ago, showing you the cycles that came in, every 16 years, and maybe that's it. I don't know. I frankly think it's no different than going back above we might even get to 118, which was the high we made, back in 2015. We might take that out, but frankly, this is still a bear market as near as I can tell because you've got lower tops and lower bottoms over the last 10 years. So that's certainly a bear market. But how high it's going to get is, remains to be seen because the key yesterday was the fact that the euro backed off about 90 pips from the high that it made at 115.90. It got down to right around 114.80, I believe. It was down about 110 pips, and then it just exploded. Whatever that news was, it just was up 200 pips, and when it was without even a back off. I mean, it just literally exploded to the upside. So that was telling you that dollar index was going to fail. And we're also looking at this Japanese yen. Watch this. Dollar yen is going to be really interesting, folks, here at this 111 area. We're trading at 111.33 right now in the dollar yen. And that's another one that has some very, very strong possibilities of, making a good retracement because that's going to be a 61% retracement on the long-term daily charts. So that's another one. Just a lot of things happening today. I mean, just a whole lot of things that are going on. And some will work, some won't, but that's neither here nor there, but that's the way it always is, so we don't have to worry too much about it. Let's just look at this euro here on a little bit shorter term basis here, looking at the daily here. And you'll notice that we are approaching the highs. And matter of fact, we took out the highs of 2016 last night. We got up to this 116.70 level. That took out the highs from April of 2016. So there's a couple of ABCD patterns up in this area. I don't know if it's going to turn from this level or not, but I'm certainly watching it. But right now, when we took this out on a Friday, I certainly wouldn't do anything until Monday because of the fact that it's a Friday and an up week. It would have to be a big reversal. You guys in this den are cracking me up. You're right. The Everglades are very, very dangerous. A good friend took us through the Everglades, and we saw these alligators crossing the road down there in Florida. Boy, that is really scary stuff, folks. Those things move so fast, and they're very hungry. Anything that eats a car tire, you got to be really careful of. Anyway, if you look at this euro, there's nothing to do today. What I would do is I'm going to be watching this all day today and through Sunday to see if this breakout that we had from 2015 is actually a false breakout or, in fact, this is really a true breakout. And that's the big difference because if you remember, the true breakout that we saw was in the Australian dollar. And we'll push this up. You've got to see this real massive thrust above those old highs, which we got here. You notice that we took out those series of highs that lined up perfectly. When we broke above that at 77.35, I mean, it was a one-way Corrigan all the way up to the 1.618 level, which has so far been the high at 79.90. So just a lot of things happening. This is what we like to see. It's because when you got volatility, you're able to see a lot of things occurring that, give you some pretty good things of looking at the same thing. Yes, they have pythons there too, folks. On my trip to Mexico about 15 years ago, I went down to a villa there. A friend of ours in Tucson ran this little, it was actually Pancho Villa's summer home in Los Mochis. No, Alamos, Mexico, and I went on a horseback ride, and we were out into this little jungle for about 100 yards from the hotel, and a giant Mexican python crossed the road. Oh dear God! I turned that horse around, and I was back there. I mean, this thing was so big it could have swallowed a Volkswagen, and that was it. I didn't leave the compound afterwards. I don't like spiders and snakes. Boy, that would be a good title for a song. But anyway, if you ever want to go to a fabulous place to visit and have tremendous food and just great, great accommodations, it's in Alamos, New Mexico. And all you have to do is Google it, and you'll see Pancho Villa's summer home. And I didn't know Bogart. He was dead long before I got to California, as I recall. I never did meet him. I didn't know. I knew a little bit about him, the fact that he was from Yale or in a really good Pancho Villa, you betcha, Leo Carrillo. Anyway, we'll be right back. 877-927-6648.
I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to The Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we just hit that 618 on the notes 1 or 2 times because the alert only went off twice, so there wasn't much going on up there. So keep an eye on these bonds. and I in the notes because I really think they've got a really good chance of turning to the downside today. So just keep a close eye on it. Regarding the Japanese yen, we've broken from 115.70. Let's try that again. 114.70 down to this 114, 111 area. So this 111 in the Japanese yen is going to be very important to keep a look at. Because the problem is it doesn't have any really good price swings in between. In other words, it's just been straight down from the 114.70, so you don't really have a really clear Gartley to look at. But on a retracement basis, it's very, very important because on that long-term chart, that 109 level was extremely important. Well, we're going to leave here pretty soon. I'm going to leave you with two things. One, buy the VIX index. Number two, short Treasury bonds. And number three, short the IWM or the S&P or the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones. Put your stop above yesterday's high. Pray for the best, and may the force be with you. One question someone asked about, did I know Humphrey Bogart? No, he died long before I don't know when he died, but he died long before I ever got to California. But the only movie stars that I was really friendly with from the old days at Drexel was Robert Wagner, and also, of course, Ty Andrews, John Forsythe, who was a guy at Charlie's Angels, and there was Vince Edwards who was there. Vic Tayback was always there. These guys were, at the track, all the time. And I was there Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday for the first 3 or 4 races, and had free lunch and everything because it was on Drexel's ticket. So it was a fun place to go. Then I went home, and I took my kids swimming every single day. Live every day in an attitude of gratitude, folks. Thanks for listening to me, and may God bless.
If you're an active trader looking for that extra edge when it comes to trading and investments, then now is a great time to get a 2-week free trial to Tom O'Brien's daily market letter, Market Insights. Tom O'Brien's daily newsletter, Market Insights, comes out every market day at around 9:30 a.m. and provides Tom's daily commentary on the broad market, including the Dow, NASDAQ, and S&P, plus specific trade recommendations. There's even an update published most afternoons to keep you informed about the day's market activity. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock and option trade. With Market Insights, there's nothing left to guessing. For all the details and to get your 2-week free trial to Market Insights started today, visit TFNN.com.